The Prime Initiative.
With chaos comes opportunity, right? The corrupt would use this opportunity as of late to do their virtue signaling and to just continue to spread their BS for their own personal gain, right? This was brought to my attention by several people, actually, who sent me this pertaining to the Board of Supervisors for Los Angeles County. The people who are responsible for defunding police for all the chaos. And now all of a sudden, they're coming out pointing fingers and saying all this nonsense, all this rhetoric. Like, oh shit, what do we do now? Because all eyes are on us, right? Let's take a look at this quick video from one of the Board of Supervisors here by the name of Lindsay. This was off of her Instagram, obviously. You can see her watermark there. She posted this. All right, let's take a look.
Governor brings in California Highway Patrol to provide additional assistance. We don't need the National Guard here. We don't need Marines coming in. What we need is support for people in our communities. Right now, all this is doing is dividing us, making us more frustrated. You see people getting angrier. That's what the federal government is doing with their actions right now.
And now we can hear people are saying Donald Trump has got to go. It's one of several sort of chants that will rise up. Just right behind us here, you can see this gentleman holding a Mexican flag. There are a lot of Mexican flags in this crowd. I'm just curious what you think about that and whether that is helpful to the situation.
Well, I think people deserve to have pride in their identity. I absolutely support that. This is clearly an attack on immigrants, and immigrants belong here. We in Los Angeles County welcome people into our county. We don't turn them away simply for going to work or...
Okay, so here's first and foremost, they're professionals with play on words, okay? This has nothing to do with just immigrants in general. Again, this is about illegal immigration, which is something that previous presidents have stated numerous times. But no one has fucking issues with that, right? But obviously, you heard it from her mouth. People waving the foreign flag around, right? Refusing to go back to that actual country, right? I mean, again, there's nothing wrong with being prideful as to your culture. But where do you live? Right? She obviously doesn't have a problem with waving a foreign flag in our country. I sure as fuck do. I mean, if you were to do the same thing in another country, burn that country's flag and wave your own, you'll get your ass kicked or killed. More than likely go into prison as well. Right? But it gets worse. It gets worse. Let's take a look at another Board of Supervisor here. Clearly changing the narrative around, right? Going back into sanctuary cities. Okay, stand by. All right, take a listen.
Los Angeles, over 450 protesters have been arrested in LA County in connection with those ICE immigration-related demonstrations. LA County Supervisor Catherine Barger, the chair of the Board of Supervisors, joins me now. We know you always have strong takes on a lot of things. What is your big takeaway so far after these historic few days in LA County that are getting worldwide attention?
Well, I have a lot of takeaways at all levels. I mean, right now, I've been getting calls, and actually someone that works in my office, her godson was pulled over by someone who didn't show a badge, was in an unmarked car, and quite...
You see how these virtue signaling comes into play, right? All these stories, these random stories. Oh, this happened, I heard about this, and blah, blah, blah.
Frankly, he was afraid. And my greatest fear is that if they're not IDing themselves, you're going to have imposters out there taking advantage of the community. And so I've reached out to ICE. I think it's important for us to communicate something that is not occurring, and it's across the board. And by the way, ICE doesn't trust, the federal government doesn't trust local to have their back. So, you know, this...
Why do you think that is? Why do you think they don't trust local? I mean, we witnessed it firsthand, right?
This is what happens when you don't work together. And in the end, the community is you know, the casualty of the war. We kicked ICE out of our jails where we would have picked up the felons once they did their time, and we put them back in the community. And this is what you get. This is what you get when you don't work with ICE.
So you're saying that the sanctuary policy, which a lot of your colleagues say is so important, doesn't sound like something you think is working.
Obviously, it's not, Alex. If they began...
There you go. It's not working. It's not working. And this is something that has been implemented by them for years, right? They were pushing all of this. You see how they're divided? They're all divided. They're all fighting amongst each other. Nothing but chaos. These people can't be trusted whatsoever. These are the ones behind the scenes. These board of supervisors are the ones behind the scenes. They push for the whole defunding the police back in what was it, 2020? They pushed the whole mandatory vaccination. And now that they can't hide this shit anymore, I mean, look, they can't hide anymore. Now they're changing their narratives. But it gets better. Here's a news clip from KTLA 5 pertaining to her text messages. Stand by.
New questions surround LA County Supervisor Catherine Barger after she revealed that she deleted text messages during January's wildfire crisis. A spokesperson for Barger says the supervisor routinely deletes text messages. She added that her iPhone is set to a 30-day auto delete, but she also manually deletes messages sometimes. Barger has publicly stated she was texting with LA Mayor Karen Bass on January 7th when the fires broke out. But when the LA Times filed a public records request, Barger's office provided no written communications from the supervisor. County record retention rules make no mention of text messages. Mayor Bass has also come under fire for deleting text messages during the firestorm.
There you go. Deleting text messages pertaining to the fire with Karen Bass. Well, there you go. These are the people that are in power right now. Board of Supervisors. You know, you guys have literally a year. A year. In a year, you'll have the option to remove these people from their little chairs and get actual leaders in there. The choice is yours. Until then, keep fighting.
The Prime Initiative.